Hey everyone, welcome to Career Maker. In this lecture, I'm going to be sharing with you the overall perspective about CAT. I'm also going to be sharing with you in specific how to prepare quants. So let's begin our discussion. CAT in general is a three section paper. Okay. The first section is VARC, the second one is DI and LR, and the third section is QA. What used to happen before 2019 and I think from 2016 was that CAT used to give 34 questions in VARC, 32 in LRDI, and 34 again in QA. And these 100 questions multiplied by 3 marks for each question got a paper of 300 marks. However, in 2020, the pattern of the paper was slightly changed and we had 26 questions in each of the 3 sections. So the paper was of 228 marks. Now, whatever the number of marks is or whatever the number of questions are, our preparation is not going to be changed. We still have to prepare the same topics and we have to prepare them in the same manner, in the same depth. So it doesn't matter whatever the number of questions are asked. We have to be prepared for every scenario possible. Now, if we talk about quants in particular, before even beginning the discussion, I'd like to burst a myth, and the myth that floats in the air is that you know the non-engineering students are at a certain disadvantage as far as the quant section is considered, or the quant section gives in a way some advantage to the engineering students. This notion is absolutely crap, and I'll tell you why it's a crappy notion to have. The first reason is that it's quants, it's QA, it's not math. Okay, you are not required to solve the derivatives or solve the integrals or the vector equation or the matrices and whatnot. You just have to focus on the chapters which you probably have covered in your class 10th or 9th or even before that. Okay, so in class up to class 10th everyone studies mathematics, so this is a no brainer to for you to understand that it's not a high order mathematics that is required over here. Second, not even all engineers are good at mathematics. Just keep this in mind. I have known many engineers who have scored much less in quants and even have maximized their scores in QA or even VRC or DILR sections. And I have known many non-engineering students who have scored higher in QA as compared to other sections. So just keep this myth out of your head and focus on preparation rather than bustling around with such discussion and wasting your time. If we have to tell about if I have to tell about what kind of questions are asked in CAT and what are the major areas that one should focus upon, let's have a look at the slot 1 of CAT 2020 and let's try to decipher what areas were the questions asked from. The biggest chunk, these two, and what are these? Arithmetic and algebra. Let's have a look at slot 2, the biggest two chunks, algebra and arithmetic. Slot 3, biggest two chunks, arithmetic and algebra. However, geometry also had 5 questions in this, but again algebra and arithmetic were the top 2. What does this tell us? If there are 5 sections which are arithmetic, algebra, geometry, modern maths and numbers, these 3 are going to be the key areas that should be focused upon, and you have to make sure that you study each and every topic of these 3 chapters in great detail. You cannot miss out on this. Just have a look. It has 10 questions in arithmetic and 8 questions in algebra. 18 questions. If you get all 18 correct, you are 54. You have 54 marks. 54 marks means 99.6 percentile. Can you imagine that? By just focusing on 2 areas, you can score a 99.6 percentile. Can you imagine that? Okay, so this is the kind of depth that is required in these 2 sections, and you have to focus in great detail in these 2 sections. Needless to say, I'm not implying that you have to leave out the other 3 sections. You have to focus on each and every section, but these 2 are the must do and should be done in a greater depth. Okay, now why do I say so that these 3 sections cannot be ignored? Because the difficulty level, if CAT decides to ask the higher level of difficulty question arithmetic, you will be stuck and you will have to switch your attempts from here to the mixed bag of these 3 sections. So you cannot even dare to attempt these 3 sections if you want to score a 99.5 and above. Okay, now how should one prepare? As I've discussed earlier, the QA section has 5 different chapters, so to speak: arithmetic, algebra, geometry, modern maths, and numbers. Now, again, as I mentioned, focus on these three, cover these three in great details. You need not go in much of details in numbers, but you should be strictly focused on what cat asks and what are the relevant areas and what are the areas from which cat has asked question in the recent years. And then again, in the modern maths, same theory is applied. Whatever cat has asked, just study that and get away from that. Okay, now what should be the ideal timeline of preparation? We are in February right now, and I will suggest give yourself February, March, April, May, and June. Cover the whole of QA syllabus in as much detail as you want and as much detail as it is possible for you. Cover every portion, every single topic of CAT till June. Okay, now till June you can give a full length mock every 15 days. You can give one mock, that's okay, but do not write too many mocks till June. I'm talking about mocks specifically in taking into consideration the freshers or the first timers. Okay, the veterans and all those who have experienced CAT before, they can move to mocks straight away depending upon their previous year preparation. But in general, if you ask me, for a first timer, this is the ideal routine, this is the ideal timeline. One should finish the syllabus by June, and then in July and August you should be solving at least 15 sectional tests of quants. This is in specific to quants. Okay, now once the sectional tests and the mocks are done, again in July and August also you have to write a full length test every 15 days. But from September onwards you have to write only full length tests every week. Okay, so this is the ideal timeline to have. Okay, cover the syllabus by June, write sectionals till August, and then September onwards every week write a full length mock and analyze it. That's it. That is the way forward for quants. Okay, just do it religiously, analyze the mocks properly, solve the questions properly, and you are on your way to score a 99. That's a guarantee. If you do all of this, no one can stop you from scoring a 99 percentile. So we have discussed the syllabus, we have discussed the timeline. Now what are the number of mocks that one should attempt? Ideally I would ask you to attempt 15 sectionals and 20 full length mocks, but these numbers, 15 sectional and this full length, but these numbers depend on the level of preparation and the amount of practice required on individual basis. For example, I attempted hardly 5 mocks of quants, but I attempted nearly 30 to 35 mocks in VARC. Okay, the sectional mocks I'm talking about. So it totally depends upon your area of expertise, your area of comfort, and the kind of preparation you are required to have in a particular section. However, in general, I recommend you to give 15 sectionals of each topic. I mean, for DILR and VARC also, and 20 full length tests, 20 to 25. Do not write more than 20 to 25 mock tests, full length mock tests. But the key is to analyze them properly. I will make a separate video on how to analyze the sectional test and how to analyze the full length test, but analyze those two properly. Now the conundrum of 99 percentile. What kind of marks are required to score a 99 percentile and above? Well, again, it depends on what is the difficulty level of the paper. However, seeing the past patterns, if you score somewhere around 55 to 60, I mean if you solve 60% of the paper, that is you solve 60% of the paper with a 90 to 95% accuracy, you are well on your way to score a 99 percentile. Do not even bother about that. Okay, let me just give you an example. This year I was in CAT slot 3. I attempted 19 questions. I scored 17 correct. My score was 51. I got 2 theta questions wrong, so that's fine, no negative marking. My scaled score was 47.5 and I got a 99.43 in quants. So you can understand the kind of marks that is required. If you solve 55 to 60% of the questions with 90 to 95% accuracy, you are well on your way to score a 99 or 99.5 or even between that. So A good student will always focus on solving 60% of the question with 95% accuracy, and I think that's a guarantee that you will score a 99 percentile plus. Now the harsh moment of truth, the 80-20 rule. This is what you are going to be focusing so much upon. What does it mean, the 80 and 20? 20% is going to be the external efforts or the help of your coaching or the help from your coach or your mentor or whoever that person or that institute is. 80% is going to be your effort. You cannot miss out to capitalize on this. Now we are in Feb, we still have about 10 months to go. Put in your efforts in this area, get the help from your coaches, your mentors, etc., but you have to maximize your effort in this area. If you put in 80% of your effort, the 20% guidance and mentorship will be even more fruitful. But only this, if you are only focused upon the guidance and mentorship and not on the 80% of your effort, your results will still be stinky and you will not get a good result. Okay, so focus on this 80%, and again, that's all you have to do. I've already discussed the way forward for quants, and in the next two videos I'll be sharing the way forward for VARC and the DILR sections. Okay, so all the very best for your preparation. Career Maker will be posting the videos on every topic of VARC, LR, DI and QA, and if you need any further help on a personal basis, just drop an email and we will contact you and have the things sorted out for you. Okay, so all the very best, and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.